Governor.
Would you take a look at this?
Look at my notes and make sure that they're like over there. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Look at everybody's trying to stand in the shade.
Yeah.
It's not as hot as it was at most weeks.
That was roasting.
That was rough.
All right, here come the 18.
Thank you for what y'all are doing. I was out with your guys. You got such an impressive group of guys.
Look at that man right there.
I know.
Keeps them all straight.
I keep telling them, handsomest colonel on the patrol.
Y'all ready?
Hey, how you doing, Governor? Yes, sir.
Hey, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Somewhere in the camera side.
Yeah. Get back over there. Get back over there by the. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's fine.
I think, because I think everybody's behind this.
Hey, Dwayne, come on over, please.
Come on. Yes, sir.
Henry, that's the truest thing that's been said all day. Take more than that to make you look good.
Good afternoon. Governor McMaster, First Lady Peggy McMaster, Lieutenant Governor Evatt, South Carolina Department of Public Safety Director Robert Woods, and members from your agency, Colonel Williamson, Senator Alexander, Senator Martin, other state, county, and city leaders, NASCAR driver Ross Chastain, and distinguished guests, and of course our friends from the media. My name's Kerry Tharp, and I have the great fortune of being the president of Darlington Raceway. What a terrific backdrop we have here today for our event. The magnificent Governor's Mansion in Columbia that brings all the history and legacy that the great state of South Carolina has to offer. We're just 40 days away from one of NASCAR's and the state of South Carolina's crown jewels and premier sporting events, the official Throwback Weekend of NASCAR, May 12 through 14 at Darlington Raceway. NASCAR is celebrating its 75th anniversary this year, and Darlington's Throwback Weekend promises to be a signature event of this celebration. The 75 greatest drivers will be recognized and honored at Darlington over Throwback Weekend. And our fans will have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to experience up close and personal the legends that helped build our sport. The economic impact that the two NASCAR events at Darlington have on the state is enormous. The races at Darlington bring in visitors from all over the world, all 50 states, and these visitors provide a great boost to our tourism. And I want to thank Director Dwayne Parrish for all the great things you do in our state for the tourism here, and we're glad to be a part of that, Dwayne, I can tell you that. I also want to take this opportunity to thank Governor McMaster for his continued support of Darlington Raceway and of NASCAR. If not for Governor McMaster, NASCAR and Darlington would not have been able to bring live sports back to this country in May of 2020. The support we receive from the governor and our state's political leadership is second to none. Please join me in welcoming the best governor in the United States, Governor Henry McMaster.
I want to hear that man talk some more. I'll be very brief. We got some interesting things to tell you, but y'all supporting Darlington is easy. It's historic. The tradition is strong. I can remember as a high school student listening to the races, and it has an enormous positive impact on Darlington and on the PD. It keeps South Carolina on the map. And one of the things I particularly like about it is Mr. Chastain will tell you in a little while, Ross Chastain, who is, he looks normal. The rest of us are out here in suits and everything, and there he is. He's a smart driver. He wins a lot. But it's the excellence, it's the competition. There really is nothing like it. And if you've never been there in the pit, you ought to go and see. You have all the men and women. You have people with electronic equipment and measuring devices and data and all sorts of stuff. It looks like something you'd see on a spaceship. And you see these drivers, not a one of them carrying an extra pound on them. All of them look like they could be in a toothpaste commercial. I mean, it is really something to see, but the discipline and the competition is fierce, that sometimes literally the difference between winning and losing is 1/1000th of a second. So it is a great honor, and it's a privilege to have all of this here. And I would remind the young people, when you see these drivers going around that track, don't try to do that yourself unless you're on the track with them. I promise you, none of these drivers who may reach speeds at Darlington of about 180 miles an hour, those vehicles have horsepower 800 or 900. I mean, those are machines. But when they're out there, they are sober, they are alert, they're wide awake, they're not texting on their phone, they're paying attention, and they are obeying the speed limit. On Darlington, that's pretty high. So if you want to learn about safe driving, those men and women are driving safely, and Director Woods will have more about that for you in a minute. So welcome, and we are delighted to be hosting the 75th anniversary. It's true excitement for the people of South Carolina and the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you very much, Governor. You know, as I mentioned earlier, fans from all 50 states and more than 12 foreign countries will visit our state next month, spend 3 or 4 days taking in the sights and attractions that our region has to offer. And it's of the utmost importance that these fans drive safely to and from Darlington as they travel across the roads in our state, because we want these fans to come back year after year and enjoy the spectacle that is NASCAR racing at the track, Too Tough to Tame. We're greatly appreciative of the relationship and partnership that Darlington Raceway has with the South Carolina Department of Public Safety. And we're ultra excited to see that partnership continue to grow. It is my pleasure to announce that the South Carolina Department of Public Safety will be the entitlement sponsor for the Buckle Up South Carolina 200 NASCAR Craftsman Series truck race on Friday, May 12th at Darlington Raceway. At this time, I'm going to ask a man who has dedicated his entire professional life to serving the people of South Carolina and ensuring the safety of our citizens and visitors. Please join me in welcoming Robert Woods, Director of the South Carolina Department of Public Safety, who will help me unveil the logo and branding for this exciting new partnership. Director Woods? Let's unveil this thing. Yes, sir. Right over here.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Rob Woods. I'm the Director of the South Carolina Department of Public Safety. First, I want to thank Governor McMaster and the First Lady for hosting this event, and thank Governor McMaster specifically for his commitment to highway safety and for supporting this partnership that we've developed with Darlington and with NASCAR. Kerry, thank you. Thank you to NASCAR, Ross, and the Darlington Raceway for committing yourselves to our mission of saving lives in South Carolina's highways. We're fast approaching that busy travel time of the summer, and with it, the 100 deadly days of summer. For those of you all who may not know, the 100 deadly days is that period of the year when we tend to see highway fatalities spike. As a matter of fact, last year during those 100 deadly days, we saw 298 people die on our state's highways. That's clearly too many. One's too many, but that's clearly too many. And we saw an opportunity to use the visibility of NASCAR to promote our message of highway safety and help bring those deaths down, not just during the 100 deadly days, but year-round. This year, we're pleased to work with NASCAR and Darlington again to take that relationship to a whole new level. Over the summer months, we're going to again collaborate with Darlington and NASCAR in two important initiatives. First of which is, of course, the Buckle Up South Carolina 200, which Kerry's already talked about. The second is two public service announcements that will feature Ross Chastain as our spokesman. These PSAs focus on two of the most common but preventable causes of highway deaths: not wearing a seatbelt and driving while impaired. The first PSA is going to appear in May and addresses seatbelt use, and the second will come in September and focuses on impaired driving. As Kerry mentioned, Ross has become one of the top NASCAR drivers, and his passion to promote highway safety was the perfect fit to bring these messages to his fans and the enormous fan base who will be present on race days. Please look for both of these messages on our DPS social media accounts and the YouTube page. As I've already mentioned, many lives are lost unnecessarily every year by people failing to simply fasten their seatbelts or deciding to drive impaired. In fact, last year, 386 people died from not wearing their seatbelts, and 390 died as a result of driving under the influence. Now, I want to just pause a minute here and put this into context. Last year, we had 1,090 people die on our state's highways, 1,090. When you combine those two figures I just gave to you, that's 776 of that 1,090, or 72%, very close to 72%. So when I say people are dying unnecessarily, that's absolutely true. Just by making the simple decision to fasten your seatbelt and not get behind the wheel while you're drunk or you're drugged is going to save innumerable lives. So with that said, I would just ask you to do two things. Follow the advice of the Department of Public Safety, one of which we're going to unveil here in a minute in our new logo for wearing seatbelts, promoting wearing of seatbelts, which that is, click it and don't risk it. And also to remember this, drive sober and you won't get pulled over. Thank you very much.
Director Woods, you want to unveil the new logo there? Thank you, Director Woods, and thank you, everyone from the South Carolina Department of Public Safety. What an outstanding agency. They were out at Darlington earlier today, filming some PSAs with the man I'm getting ready to introduce. You know, over the past couple of seasons, I don't think there's been a NASCAR driver that has had a more exciting impact on our sport than Ross Chastain. In 2022, Ross recorded 2 wins and turned in one of NASCAR's most thrilling moves with his Hail Melon ride against the wall at Martinsville that allowed him to advance to the Championship 4, where he finished second in the championship standings. I was there that day, and I said to myself when I saw that, I don't believe what I just saw. The South Carolina Department of Public Safety could not have identified a more suitable spokesperson and representative than the driver of the #1 Trackhouse Chevrolet. Please join me in welcoming Ross Chastain.
Thank you all. Thank you for having me. Yes, sir, I do feel well dressed for the occasion, properly. But thank you, Kerry, for introducing me. This is a monumental day for me to stand here before you. We've been building this program for several years, a long time before the Hail Melon, a long time before the stars and the cameras were really watching me a whole lot. And go back to 2015, I was in the Xfinity Series, and we had this idea. And we just started trying to figure out how that idea could come to life. And it was Protect Your Melon. And we've grown it now to 7 states across this country. And this idea that this platform I have, that I've been blessed with, is an incredible opportunity to make a difference. And it all brings us here to today. For Governor McMaster, First Lady, thank you for having me. Director Woods, I appreciate everything. For having me here today. One other key member up here is Senator Shane Martin. Now, this guy has been a friend of mine for a very long time, and a key part of those years I talk about, 2015, in that time frame of my time when not a lot of people were calling me to drive race cars. Shane is a part of the Chevrolet racing program in the Xfinity Series and went to bat for me several times over the years to get me rides, to get me opportunities in simulators, and make me a better race car driver. And it's really coming full circle for me, and I hope it is for you, Shane, today, to be standing here in front of this beautiful facility. And although those years might not seem like they're that long in comparison to these grounds and the history here in this city, one thing that I've learned is it doesn't matter what team I'm on with all of this. It doesn't matter as I've navigated my career. It's been with some ups for sure. We have some right now, but it's been with a lot of downs. And there's some folks here today from NASCAR that have lived that with me, and they've counseled me in times that I needed it. And it all comes back to we're all on the same team when it comes to NASCAR. We travel all over this country, maybe out of the country coming up soon. And as we do it, we're all on the same team. We're all a family. And that all comes back to how can we make this better for each other. So I'm honored to partner with the Department of Public Safety here and grow Protect Your Melon and Use Your Melon in this way to if it saves one life. We've heard the numbers, right? We know the statistics. We've seen them. And we all know that we should wear our seatbelts. It's just a simple act of doing it. When I crawl in the race car, it's 9 seatbelts, a Hans device, fireproof suit, fireproof underwear, shoes, gloves, a helmet, and then everything to keep me cool because all that stuff is really hot. But it all puts me in a space where that we can go perform and execute in moments like Martinsville and moments like COTA last year when we were able to win our first race in the Cup Series for Trackhouse and myself. Again at Talladega, winning these monumental, iconic races and going and winning and competing, it all comes full circle. And we have some amazing fans. It's said they're the most loyal, and I believe it. I believe NASCAR fans are the most loyal. And they listen to what we do, and for some reason to what I say. And I'm not sure why yet, as I grow into my role in the sport. But when I was a kid, like the governor said earlier, he listened to the races on the radio. I did the same thing. Now, it might have been a few different decades in between our childhoods. But I did. I grew up on a watermelon farm in South Florida, and we worked Sundays. I mean, I had a normal life. I went to school. I did all the normal stuff, but we worked, and that's how I got into racing. Was my dad allowed me to race if I worked and got good grades. So they're the reason that we do this is our fans. And whether I'm driving my Camaro, riding the wall at Martinsville, or winning a cup race, or that Chevy Suburban you saw pull in here about 15 minutes ago, a little later than I wanted to, coming over from Darlington because I thought it'd be a good idea to stop at Biggs and eat it behind McLeod's there in town and get a barbecue sandwich. That was my bad on the timing. But it doesn't matter. I buckle up. It's 2 belts, 1 click in the Suburban or whatever I'm driving on the highway. It's 9 seat belts. It takes a couple of minutes to get everything adjusted and fastened in the race car. Doesn't matter, I do it because I know that's the single best thing that I can do to prevent me from being injured so that I can continue to race and do what I love, and that's race cars at this level. So for the fans listening, like it's been said before, we're asking a simple thing. It's simply to wear your seatbelt. It's simply to pay attention when you're driving. Don't be distracted. Don't be impaired. If you're going to come to Darlington, come to our throwback weekend, see the history. I'll be honest, Carrie, I hope I'm on that list of 75 one day when we're at 100 and you add 25 more, maybe I'll be added because I'll still be racing then, I hope. But when you come designate a driver, it's a simple ask that we're doing. We're not selling a product. We're just selling an idea that we all come wherever we're going. We go out in this beautiful state, and as I've traveled from Charlotte today, where our shop is, down to Darlington, over here to the Capitol, it's a simple ask. And as I've spent hours today traveling and seeing people next to me on the highway and passing by, I was thinking about this exact moment and how would I resonate. And I just hope that as we do it, my papers don't go flying, that we all make the right choice and we click it and don't risk it. It's a very simple ask, and it's one that we have to make every time. The one time you don't is the one time that we don't want anything to happen. So with this, I'm just excited about this, and I will see everybody at Darlington in May, where we've had incredibly fast cars in the Cup Series last year in both races. I'll also be in the Xfinity Series in this beautiful number 91 Protect Your Melon Chevy. And I'll also be in the truck race Friday night for this iconic race now that I have a special love for. And I can't say anybody else in the field will have a stronger desire to win that truck race than me, as we'll be carrying the colors throughout the weekend. So thank y'all for having me. Thank you everybody behind me. This means a lot. It's a program that I've really, no matter what team I've been with, they've allowed me this runway to pursue this and try to make a difference. And now to do it here in South Carolina, it means the world. So thank you.
Like I told you, I don't think the agency could have picked a more suitable or representative person than Ross Chastain. So you come to Darlington not only for the throwback, but you get to see this guy race 3 times that weekend, okay? So that's definitely worth coming over for. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here today. A great turnout from the media, a great turnout from the folks here in Columbia and surrounding areas. Just thank you so much for being here. Like I said, we're 40 days away and counting. I encourage you to talk up the Darlington Raceway Throwback Weekend amongst your friends and colleagues. It's important that we have a great turnout. We're going to put on a great show, Throwback Weekend, and we just love being a part of this state. So with that, I think we're going to get some pictures taken. I think we'll be available for media interviews, and I think the governor's invited some of us to come in and to enjoy some of the refreshments that we have. So thank you again very much. Safe travels, and we hope to see you at Darlington later next month. Thank you.